Welcome back to Career Day, everyone. As always, I've got another wonderful guest with me. Now go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
I'm Adrina Gonzalez. I'm a registered nurse. I also have a master's degree in nursing education, and I teach students how to become registered nurses.
That is fabulous. Yeah. So if someone is watching this right now and they say, okay, I want to take her class, I want to pursue this career, what does that look like for them? How's that journey go?
Well, in order to become a nurse, you have to enter an accredited program. You'll have to sit after you complete that the nursing program, the education aspect of it. You'll be eligible to sit for the NCLEX, which is a national licensing examination in order to qualify to become a registered nurse. But there is a process to get into school in order to become a nurse. And so a lot of young students who aspire to be a nurse, they often wonder, well, what do I need to do in order to get into a nursing program? Well, the focus is on sciences, so you need to take it's going to consist of like your basic
just those classes, like biology,
yes.
or
yes, so you're going to have to take biology, biology classes. Pathophysiology is going to be a focus. We also focus a lot on histories and Englishes and those different aspects, but a lot on science.
Yeah,
a lot on science, and so. Students who are successful in those courses tend to be more successful in nursing programs once they reach that point. And so it depends on your program that you are trying to get into. You have to see what classes are transferable and acceptable as prerequisites in order to apply for that program. So it just depends.
Okay. Good deal. So let's say we go through all that, right? And we are graduating with our license. We finally get our license. So what does, I guess, the pay range look like? And then how much of a demand is there for RNs?
There is a huge demand. So pre-pandemic, there was a national shortage of around 6 million nurses.
Wow, really?
And they are estimating that number will grow to around 13 million within the next decade.
Wow.
So especially bachelor's level prepared RNs are in extreme high demand. And so you can expect to start out, and starting pay as an RN, it really depends on the area where you're working. It also depends on geography, depends on where you're living. But you can typically expect nowadays around $25 per hour.
Wow.
And with years of experience and promotions and additional education, that number grows significantly. And so we also have travel nurse options, which are very lucrative. With additional education and career growth, you tend to see much higher salaries as well. So very high demand, and there is lots of room for growth.
Okay, job security and growth, right?
Absolutely.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing all this great insight. Do you have any other thoughts or messages or advice that you want to share?
Just that we need good nurses that want to help people, and if that is something that interests you, this is an excellent field to get into. If you want to help people through their most vulnerable times, and you want to be a part of something really great, this is the best profession. I'm a little biased, but...
Oh, no, it's okay. Well, again, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it, and we learned a lot, so we appreciate it.
Great.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have for right now, but we'll see you next time on Career Day. Have a great one. Hey everybody, welcome back to Career Day. I've got another wonderful guest with me here, Dr. Kim Living Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Good, good. Okay, so we are talking about teaching, and what a huge role the teacher plays in the classroom. But let's start with, introducing yourself and what you do.
Well, I am Dr. Kim Livingood from ASU, and I am a professor and department chair in the Department of Teacher Education. And so I get to be a part of preparing teachers to go into the classroom. Hopefully make them day one ready so they are ready to teach students.
Yes, yes. And like you were saying, I mean, this is so important. So let's just kind of start with, the impact that teachers have.
Teacher, if you want to make a difference in someone's life, think about becoming a teacher, because the teacher does have the biggest impact in any classroom, because they set the climate.
Yeah.
And they have the power to inspire and encourage and help students figure out how to make what may be challenges into opportunities, and how to overcome the challenges so that they can take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot of pressure. But like you said, you're going to make them ready. So, basically having a heart for others, is that where they need to start?
Yes, students don't care about how much you know until they know that you care.
Yeah.
And that is the whole concept of teaching. That's the concept of teaching at ASU, but it's what we want to instill into those who want to be teachers in the classroom, in the K through 12 classroom.
Yeah. Wow. So that's a big range, K through 12. So let's break it down a little bit, because there are some differences.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so traditionally it's broken down pretty much elementary, secondary. And so let's talk about elementary, because elementary is considered the EC through 6.
Okay.
And so they are focusing on the littles, and so we prepare those. They get a bachelor's degree. So they focus on a little bit of all the core contents. So they have a little bit of the English language arts. They have a little bit of the social studies. They have a little bit of the math, and they have a little bit of the science. And so, as you know, in an elementary setting, you could be teaching in a departmental way, so that you could be teaching a lot of science, or you could be teaching all of it in a classroom. And so we want to prepare them to be ready to walk into that classroom and meet the needs of those students, because students are diverse in all the classrooms. And so start with your bachelor's degree. Within that bachelor's degree, we prepare them for all of those content areas. We prepare them because they have to take a test to be certified in the state of Texas. So we prepare them for that test. We prepare them for the content test as well as the teaching test. And within those courses, we actually get them out into the classrooms to work with kids so that it's not scary. We step them out into it, in a very cautious process, so that they're comfortable and they're confident in what they're doing, and they take on just a little bit at a time, so that by the time they're student teaching, which is that everyone has heard of a student teacher, most cases, that they are ready to be in the classroom, and they're excited to be in the classroom, and they're ready to make that difference. So that's with the elementary. With the secondary, same idea. They get a bachelor's degree. The difference is, in the elementary, they're getting an elementary bachelor's degree. Secondary, they get a degree in their content field. So if you want to teach math, you get a math degree. If you want to teach English, you get an English degree. If you chemistry degree. And then you get, alongside that, it's kind of like getting a minor in education.
Right.
You get the teaching courses. So then we still prepare the different degrees. Will prepare them for the content,
right?
Because they still have to pass a content test. And then we prepare them in the College of Education. We prepare them for that teaching part, to meet the needs of students, to be prepared to how to take that content that they understand and they love, because that's why they're pursuing it. They're passionate about that. How can I break it down so that someone who is brand new to this can understand it? And then that's when it gets exciting. Whether you're teaching elementary or secondary, is when the lights turn on. And those light bulb moments, and your students got it. And they are interested in that subject that you were so passionate about in the first place.
Wow.
And so that's the general idea. Now there are several pathways in that. We're always looking at ASU, we're always looking at initiatives that are innovative, because we want to make education available and accessible to everyone. So we're even like right now we're starting a new program that's in partnership with Howard, where we're working with those that are paraprofessionals. So a lot of times, you can't afford necessarily to go right into school.
Yeah.
So they become paraprofessionals, but then how do they get into classes? And so we're working with Howard and with our certification classes to be able to bring it to them wherever they are, so that they're online, and still we can work with that particular student to prepare them again to have their own classroom, be ready that day one. And there's also opportunities that if you do get a degree and you don't get those education courses, you can come back and do it at the graduate level and do post-bac opportunities too.
Wow. So lots of different ways.
Yes.
But the main goal is preparing them, getting them ready, setting them up for success, and
Yes.
And just helping them through that.
Yes.
Oh, that is fantastic. So do you have any other messages or advice that you want to share with somebody who's like, okay, you know what, I want to make an impact, I want to be a teacher?
The first thing I want to say is don't let the challenges be the hindrance. Don't hesitate to ask questions, because there may be a piece of the puzzle that you're missing. Don't make the assumption that, well, because I can't do A, well, I can't do B, C, and D. Ask the questions, ask someone, so that you can find out what are the other opportunities, how can I get around this challenge? Because someone wants to help you.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, if you don't come and ask the questions, you won't find out the alternatives, and we won't know what to offer.
Right. Yeah. Because there's not just one way to do
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Fantastic. Wow. I mean, it's true. Teachers make a huge impact on the students, and I know that's got to be a very rewarding experience.
It is worth everything when you get the student who comes back to you after they've graduated, or the student who sends an email or something along those lines, and they tell you what a difference you made. I just read one yesterday, and it's the difference that you don't even know sometimes until it's later on.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, I can't wait. I'd love to read that message, because I'm sure it was a very, very touching one. And you can have that too. You can have that too if you become a teacher. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for sharing this information. Do you have any final thoughts or messages that you want to share just about this whole process, or again, advice?
Again, don't let looking at the whole process be scary, because an education program takes you step by step.
Yeah.
We one step at a time. You don't have to look at it or even understand the whole process at first. That's what we're there for, is to help you one step at a time.
Fantastic. So much good information. Thank you again so much for coming in and telling us about it. We appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, folks. Well, that's all the time we have for right now, but we'll see you next time on Career Day. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Career Day. I've got another wonderful guest with me. Now, thanks for being on the show. Let's start with just introducing yourself and telling us what you do.
All right. Thanks so much for inviting me for this opportunity. I'm the chair of the computer science department at Angelo State University. My name is Erdoğan Doğdu. Call me Dr. Doğdu. All right, so the computer science department has a long-running computer science degree program. That's a 4-year degree program for new starters, and we have recently added a few more programs. One is in cybersecurity. We have a new minor. We have also a long-running a number of certificate programs in web technologies, web and mobile development, game development. I'm sure that will interest many of our students.
Yeah, all the gamers out there.
Exactly, and the cybersecurity technologies. So these are the 3 certificate programs that we have been running for a while. And then recently we added a minor in cybersecurity systems. That's brand new. And right now we are working on starting a major in cybersecurity, and that will be starting in the fall. And the reason is because we have so much need for new workforce for cybersecurity, and we have been hearing about, in the news, so many attacks are, coming to, the companies, government agencies, everywhere. So we need more people in the cybersecurity area. So there's a high demand, and therefore we have been offering these new programs.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm sure you get a lot of kind of misconceptions about what computer science is, but that just showed like there's a lot of different paths that people can take for this.
Exactly.
So how do they get started?
Right. Basically, our computer science program is on the fundamentals of computer science, and that requires understanding the computing, how to write programs, how to develop algorithms. That's more important part of developing applications actually, because some of the problems are hard problems. They cannot be solved just by writing program. You have to understand the problem first, have a good analysis, design, and then develop these algorithms that will solve these complex problems, especially now. And you have been hearing about, for example, machine learning, AI, and these are really hard problems. And the companies, academics, the universities are working really hard to solve these really difficult problems. So therefore, computer science is the first step in that direction, in the pathway, to understand the problems first, and then having the skills to develop these algorithms, really complex algorithms to solve the problems.
Wow. Yeah. And then, I mean, it just goes on from there.
Exactly.
It's endless, I'm sure.
Right. So the 4-year degree program is the first step. So to be really on the forefront of this area, you have to get maybe a higher education, a graduate program maybe. And we started also a master's program at Angelo State University. That's new. And that is actually 1.5-year program, but that can be completed in 1 year with some intense focus. And that is a 30-hour program, and that can be completed in 1 year. So what students can do, actually, they can get their 4-year degree program, a bachelor's degree, plus the 1-year master's degree in 5 years. That's very much possible. And of course, I have to also note that a master's degree increases the salary at least 20% in the area. The industry really pays high salaries for people with advanced degrees.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, can we go over some of those, I guess, that pay scale and the need
exactly.
for these people?
Yeah, the pay scale has been really high, and you can look at from different sources like U.S. Bureau of Labor statistics, and they list the salaries for the computer science area, the jobs like in the area of like 6 figures usually, $100,000 or more. Especially the cybersecurity area is really hot, and right now it is the #1 job in the best jobs list of the U.S. News.
Wow.
And that pays like around $150,000.
Wow. So the 4 or 5 years of school is worth it.
Yes, definitely. And it's a short pathway for many professionals. You don't have to spend too much time in school. That 4-year degree program is enough for many jobs. And again, an advanced degree will pay more, and it is less than most other professionals.
Wow. So what does it mean for you to kind of be on the forefront of these new programs, the gaming, the cybersecurity? What does that mean, for you personally to see all this?
Right. Basically, it's all on the news because computers are everywhere, right? In gaming, healthcare, finance, manufacturing. So computers are everywhere, and then there is need to develop new applications, advanced applications that will basically automate things. Especially now, everything is connected, interconnected on internet. So we actually have been running our applications on our cell phones, right? There are so many new applications coming out, and then that needs labor force. Somebody has to develop those applications. So therefore, computer science area has been growing. There's high demand. In the US, only more than 500,000 open jobs right now for computer science professionals. So that, and overall, in the world, there are millions, of course. And then the good thing about computer science, you can get a job anywhere in the world because it requires understanding computers. And skills are basically universal everywhere.
Wow. So what would you say, I guess, what are the types of people? Maybe they're thinking, I don't know if this is for me or not, but what type of person would be a great fit for these programs?
Anyone actually, because computer science area is really widespread. There is need for different skills like social skills as well as the technical skills. So people with technical skills really are in the forefront of this area because they develop the algorithms and the applications. And that requires some math skills, understanding mathematics well. That's pretty much it. Being able to solve problems, analytical skills, those are important. So if you are good in math, you definitely will be good in computer science.
Wonderful. Well, do you have any advice for anyone who may be thinking about pursuing this career?
Basically, learn your math first for the high school students, and then from there we actually offer a number of summer programs, summer camps for high school as well as junior high school students. And this year we have actually 3 camps running in the school. We have a code camp and then Camp Code. 2 of them from different departments. Education department also runs a robotics camp. And we also have a cyber camp. So there are these summer camps that is really a good opportunity to learn about programming, understand the problems, and then develop some basic skills that will be the first step in getting into computer science. And then from there, once you get to the graduate school, the university, then you can start these degree programs either in computer science or related fields maybe, because we also have a number of related programs that can also get people into computer science area.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much for all this information. I really appreciate it. You've shared so much with us. Do you have any final thoughts or messages that you want to share?
That's all. We just basically welcome everyone. We have a number of different very nice programs outlined here, and then we hope to get new students.
Wonderful. I'm sure you'll have several.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. Hey, folks, we still have more on the next career day. That's all for right now, but we'll see you next time.